I want to show you, play some audio here because things have progressed over the weekend on this. Let me play the audio of CAIR director blaming Trump for New Zealand shooting.
Mr. Trump, your words matter. Your policies matter. They impact the lives of innocent people at home and globally. And you should condemn this, not only as a hate crime, but as a white supremacist terrorist attack. And you need to assure all of us, Muslims, blacks, Jews, immigrants, that we are protected and you will not tolerate any physical violence against us because we are immigrants or we are minorities.
This is unbelievable. Okay, stop. I've had enough propaganda. Remember, this is what CAIR is. The CAIR was started by the Palestinian Committee, which was funded and started by the Muslim Brotherhood. They started two organizations. They started Hamas, and then the Muslim Brotherhood needed another arm outside of the Middle East. And so in America, they started the Palestinian Committee. The Palestinian Committee had three founding members of their propaganda arm. The propaganda arm, it was started by that guy you just heard. He's one of the guys that was on the committee that started the propaganda arm here in the United States for the Muslim Brotherhood called CAIR. That's who they are. And that's the way they should be introduced every time. The propaganda arm of the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with anything that he said about condemning this violence, that no immigrant, nobody should be under this threat. No one should be. However, for him to say that it is Donald Trump's fault is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Donald Trump is responsible for this? When was Air Force One down in New Zealand? Did he make a state visit to New Zealand? Because I don't remember that. Anything anybody in New Zealand saw came from the mainstream media, came from our media, and then the media in New Zealand picking it up. So if you really want to have direct blame, I think it would be from the media and what the media is saying. Although that too is ridiculous. The guy who's responsible is the guy who walked into the mosque. Period.
It's a bizarre sign of how we worship the president as a position in this country, that we need him to come out and every time there's a crime for him to say, well, this type of violence is unacceptable. We have a constitution that says that. We have laws that say that. We all know that you cannot go into a church. There's no way to justify it. There's no one who thinks it's okay. You do not need the president to come out every time and tweet to you his disdain for a particular attack. Just like when Christians are being slaughtered in the Middle East, that the media did not step up and cover at all when that was going on. We all know that these are terrible, terrible things. The idea that the story today is whether the president tweeted about it or not it's disgraceful. It takes a really serious incident with really serious problems and degrades it to nonsense.
I will take a slight difference.
How dare you? How dare you? You agree when I say things, Glenn.
There are times that it does matter if you come out and say something. For instance, if you are proposing legislation to kill infants and commit infanticide, it is important that you come out and say, I am against this. However, the president has said, I'm against this. We're all against this.
Inexplicably, there are two sides to that one, where half of the country, one major party is saying, yeah, we should be able to do that. So taking a stand on that one's pretty clear. There's no party that I know of outside of legitimately white supremacists, which we saw in Charlottesville. It was like the Super Bowl for white supremacists, and like 100 people showed up. So, I mean, this is one person can do a lot of damage. And so, as we've said a million times, this sort of nonsense should go away, and it's despicable. But there's not a huge white supremacist movement in the United States.
Nor is there one in New Zealand.
No, there's the one in New Zealand.
There's
right.
not one in New Zealand.
And there's so the idea that needs to be the story today, I think, is it's a sign that every single story has to come back to Donald Trump to punish us for some ill we did thousands of years ago or something. Every single story has to be about Donald Trump. Is there anything that we can talk about? I can't even watch football anymore without them bringing up Donald Trump.